destiny. In the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name.
Well, a pleasant good morning and welcome to the program this week. It is great to be alive. You know, that's my same statement from since last year. I'll keep it. It's a great day to be alive. It's a wonderful Friday morning. And I'm just saying a special good morning and hello to all those of you who usually listen to this program. I want to say a special good morning to Mr. Bonaparte. I just discovered about 2 weeks ago that he's an avid listener. So I hope he's listening this morning. I just want to say a special good morning to him and to his wife. And to all those of you who, I may not know whether or not you always listen, but I know that you do. So thank you for always joining with us and just for being here on the CCG Hour. Of course, we are way into the year already. Can you imagine? 2 months, almost 2 months already. Yeah. Well, I have with me Hillary this morning. Those of you who are always listening and viewing may have remembered Hillary from last year when I think it's about October.
Yeah. Could be that time.
Could be around then. Yeah. Well, welcome. Somebody said that we look like sisters.
Yeah.
I'm taking that. I don't mind.
Exactly.
A beautiful woman. I'm taking that.
Same for sure.
Yeah. But we do have similar features. And now I see we borrowed the hair as well.
Yes. So there must be some similarities somewhere.
Yeah. Something more is happening. But I'm really grateful that you can be here with us, talking money again.
Good morning. Yeah. We always want to know more about money, right?
Why not? I mean, these days everybody want to keep it. Yeah. We need to give them strategies as to how to do that.
Yes.
All right. So just a little bit of background for those of you who may have just been seeing Hillary or is the first time you are meeting her. Hillary is the founder, owner of Business Support Center, right there in St. George's. Of course, she will say a little bit more about it, but besides, of course, from the time you hear it, it sounds like money. Yes.
Yes.
But also, she does a lot of courses and so forth. And as an accountant, without a doubt, I mean, it is in that capacity that I have invited her on the program because I believe that this program should give us the kind of information that can help us to live a fully balanced life. Not just the spirituality, not just your health, not just your money, just everything. From the time you see, when you see the CCG Hour, it should be, hey, when I listen, I should get something that is going to encourage me. So, Hillary, just tell us a little bit again about Business Support Center.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. So the Business Support Center, well, the name says it all. Mm-hmm. We support businesses. We're currently located on Bruce Street. That's opposite the mall, the Bruce Street Mall, near to the tunnel. Mm-hmm. So we have businesses, and Ms. Ruffin said I'm an accountant, but I like to use the word transformational advisor. Yes.
Okay, so that's the new term?
No, that's not the new term.
Okay.
Why I say that is because once you come to the Business Support Center, we would help transform your business.
Okay, I get
We
that.
wouldn't just do your accounting.
Right.
Because for a lot of people, their business, and of course business is linked to money. I don't think anybody goes into business not wanting to make money. Yeah, but a lot of the time is linked to what is going on in the business, but that is why the business would make money or not make money.
Right.
So we usually help transform what is going on in the business to help them do better in terms of making money.
Right.
Yeah?
So, but as you're saying that though, and though it's not fully part of the program, the fact that you're doing accounting and you say that you more look at yourself as a transformational advisor, what about not accounting properly how does that really affect?
Oh yes, that definitely affects the business. So that's why I say when we go in, we look at the business holistically. And as I say, a lot of things are tied back to the money piece. So how do you handle transactions when they come in? How do we handle transactions when they go out? What is your staffing like? Are they in the right place? What are processes, which is a lot of things that business don't look at, you know? So that, again, as I say, everything related to the business, from the sales to the expenses, to the income, to the assets, everything is tied right back to that business. So we wouldn't just look at just your figures and what you're spending and what's coming in, but we look at the entire piece. Maybe your marketing is weak, so we look at that. Yeah,
Right.
maybe you don't have the right people at the front desk. They're running customers instead of being pleasant. So you wonder, why is the business sales going down? So we
Right.
would help you with things like that, because we would come in and observe, and we would advise clients as to what's going on. So that's a little about in terms of what we do. As I said, we are called transformational advisors. We also do training for businesses, business owners especially. We want business owners to come and get their training. We notice that they always send in their staff. Staff is trained, but you, the owner, don't even know what the staff is trained in.
Yeah.
How can you hold them accountable if you don't know?
Right.
Yeah? But we do train your team as well. We train yourself, we train your team, and we wanted to help you. When we say train business owners, we're not talking about to answer phone and do things like that, but training about money again. How much people really know about money in business? All
I
they
just
know is to
want
make
make
money,
it, yeah.
spend money, make money, but you have so much other things you can learn about money and your business. Yeah.
Okay.
We would do your accounting for you, of course. If you don't have an accountant in place or a bookkeeper, we will help do that. So we have the recording of your information. We'll make sure that is done timely and accurately. And we'll help you with your taxes. This is tax season, so if you don't have a bookkeeper yet or an accountant, we are available. So give us a call. I have my team there. So.
Well, share the number one time.
So the number is 439-2724. So that's 439-2724. So you can give us a call. We do all the different tax types: your payee, your individual tax, your VAT, your corporate tax, your stamp tax, and all businesses. Remember, you have to pay a tax. We want to drive in better roads. We want to go in the hospital and use the service for free. That's the reason you're paying tax. Yeah? So don't worry about what people say. When you're in the bigger countries, they're paying more than half sometime in their earnings in taxes. So we in Grenada have to get accustomed to paying tax. It's important to pay a tax. Yeah?
But as you say, taxes there, and again, it might not be the program, but I'm glad that you raised that. I do believe that part of the whole mindset as it relates to taxes is that we just simply don't understand. So would you consider, and I love to ask my guests, I love to ask the guests on TV, so when they commit here on TV, but seriously, but would you commit to being able to possibly talk about that? As you said, it's tax season. We could possibly come back and do that, because even if you're not a business, how would you know that, all right, maybe I registered a little business that, I don't know, maybe I sell tat, and I decided let me register the business, and then I see this document come and meet me. I have no clue what it is that I'm supposed to do. At which point should I really be? Is it that everybody's paying tax? You understand? And I think that some people maybe really do not know. So as much as I don't want us to give all the information so that nobody comes to get business done with you.
No, that's fine.
But I do believe, especially I do believe, especially from an individual place, people should be able to know. So we will definitely talk about that. I think that will be a very valuable and timely program. So, but just before we move on, as you said, we in that season now. When would tax season, quote unquote, tax season go up to?
Right. So the season is ongoing now, but the last date for filing the different tax types, as I say, whether it is a corporate, like you have a business with a number of persons, we call it corporation, or individual tax, is at the end of March. So the 31st of March is generally the filing period. Although some businesses, based on when they started, they have their own end date.
Right.
But generally, the tax period is by the end of March, in terms of your filing, and especially for individual tax payers as well. Yeah.
All right. So then we can definitely stick in a program before then to at least be able to give persons, a little, because I do believe that some people are just waiting there. They're looking at the paper and it's like, Lord God.
What to do?
And sometimes, some people I really believe, and then the more you wait till the last minute, as usual, even if you go in and the clerks or whoever whoever it is may have wanted to give you some assistance, now you can't get it because everybody wants
it. Yes, yes. So, and if you don't pay on time, there is interest and penalty. So you want to avoid that as well.
Wow. So there you go. So, well, I think we already have a plan for the next program. No, but I think that it will definitely be worthwhile.
Good.
All right. Well, for as it relates to what you do and what you are doing, because I believe, again, with the mindset, when people hear accounting, just like when people hear lawyers, they start to have these crazy concepts in their head. When they hear accounting, they come in and they come in and
count your money.
Count your money. Well, not just count your money, but I don't know, maybe find a way to thief some.
The concept there, people have a lot, or even maybe causing them to pay more taxes and so on. So sometimes people get a little worried, but don't worry. The accountants are not like that. What I want to admonish business owners to do is when you have an accountant or a bookkeeper, let them explain what's going on the paper. It's not just numbers. Yes, I think that they says numbers tell the story. Let the accountant, let your bookkeeper explain what's going on there for you.
Right.
Because generally when you go to the financial institutions for a loan, they will ask you what's happening.
Oh, yes.
You can't say, the guy, the accountant, you have to call him. He's not the owner of the business. You are. So you need to take the time to understand what's going on.
Yes.
And if he or she puts it together, they should be able to explain it to you. So that's just a little tip for the business owners. And we do that at the BSC. We'll make the time, we'll sit with you, we'll explain what's going on, and we, as you say, will help transform some of the figures in terms of what's going on in the business. To improve it. That's the key.
That is the key, to improve. All right, so we are going back a little bit to what we chatted about the last time.
Yes.
And I know, again, especially for those who may not even remember what we are referring to, but I do know that there were some particular points that we raised that, I mean, some of them stuck with me.
Wonderful.
And I really do believe that that is just noteworthy, that we could just start there, give a little bit of a review of that, and then we can go into what we have planned for the persons today.
Sure. So the last time we were here, one of the first things I think we shared was people's mindsets. Now, mindset in everything is important. So if you have a very fixed mindset, so the two basic mindsets we have is fixed and growth. Fixed mindset are people that are rigid. They don't want to change. So that's how they grow. That's how mommy showed me. That's how I learned it. And that's how I'm going to do it. Yeah. But the other side of that equation would be persons with the growth mindset. Because you see what's happening now. Technology is changing. Things are changing. And if we remain in the same mindset as we would have initially learned it, obviously we'll get lost.
Oh, yes.
So take, for example, years ago, when persons had to record their information from the bank, it was a passbook. Right?
Oh, yes, I remember those. Yeah.
So you go to the bank, the person stands there, you put in $5, they add $5 to the balance and so on. Now we are moving away from that. We are now into using the ATM card. So you go in there and you see your entire belly.
Yes.
Right now we are even moving away from ATM to an extent, and we are now online.
Yes.
So we have to get accustomed to the changing times and grow with the times. The best advice I could give is learn.
Correct.
Learn whatever is going on. Ask questions. Sometimes we just take things too holistically. We just swallow it, and then we wonder what's happening. So develop that mindset of growth. Learn, research, ask questions so that you can do things better. Yeah. So as we get back to money, in terms of the growth mindset, usually the people who have more money is the people with a growth mindset, because they don't see money as just a thing to take and spend. They would see money as a way to invest, not just in terms of physical things, but in themselves.
Right.
By learning, by taking classes. Yeah. So that's one of the ways that persons could do better in terms of money. Yeah.
But do you believe that individuals, especially in our Grenadian context, that investment in money or using money mainly as investment is our first?
No. Generally it's not. No. Generally it's not. We see more people saving their money. Yeah. And saving is good. But sometimes you can save to get what you need. Yeah. So you have to find another way, but we'll get to that.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into some options later.
Right. So back to
so
the mindset.
persons with the growth mindset always finding things to do with money, how they look at money. They're not necessarily mean with their money. Yeah. They try to give, and you know, scripture have a thing that says, "You give and it shall come back to you."
Oh yes, definitely.
So I'm not telling people to give away all that they earn. Yeah, but you would have to give a portion.
Yes.
And that's one of the things the mentor Jim Rohn said. You know, find a way to give a percentage of that, in whether it is in gift, whether it is in charity, whatever you call it, but you could give away a percentage. And if you do that consistently enough, I guarantee you will see a return on investment.
I can speak on that one. Yes. All right. I think we had also spoken about, in line with what you said with the percentage, I think we had broken it down into what we can do with $1, using back the same principle from that mentor.
Yes.
So if we could just go through that quickly.
Sure. So it was said that you can only spend 70% of that dollar. You should spend only 70%. But I know in these times it may be a little difficult. So one of the suggestions would be to develop a budget. What it is you're using your money to do. What are you spending your money on? And I'm talking about what is important, what is the need, not the want. So you would have to be able to calculate that. Yeah?
Right.
All of your expenses, whether it is a rent, a mortgage, bus, so these things that you would need to spend your money on, and you spend that. So whatever that percentage is, so he said that you should at least be able to spend 70%. Somebody's own might be 80, somebody be 90, but make sure you know that number. And the only how we know that number is if you note all the things that you need. Remember I said need, not your want, not the here that you have to do every week. Not the party you have to go to. That
but then what if someone considers that their need?
Yes.
I mean, for real, you know, some people, we might be defining needs as, you know, those things that without it you will not live a practical life, which is what it is, really is.
But people
but
change the defining need.
I find so.
Yes,
I find that somebody figures, here what, if my nails are not done, part of me is missing now, apparently. I think it goes that way right now. But then, the quick question I just want to ask, and I think I had raised that question then, I honestly cannot remember the exact response you gave when you were talking about writing down all that the needs would have been. The question I asked then that I'm asking again is, what if those needs supersedes the income that someone has?
Right.
What do you do? Do you just throw up your arms now? What happens now?
Yes, well, I mean, you can do that. That's one option.
Could do that too.
But you would have to go back and look at it, because obviously you're living outside of your means. Yeah,
but there are a lot of people living like that, Hillary. Yes, and they have a credit card.
Yeah, well, that is the other danger part. Yeah, so you need to look at things that you could cut back on. Maybe people buying lunch every day. Yeah, so maybe there are things that you need to do. Maybe you need to look at maybe your light bill. You need to look at delve a little deeper into what is happening around you.
Right.
Because sometimes there are habits that's costing us money as opposed to us saving. So it's another set of discipline again that we need to really look at. Maybe your where you are in terms of your mortgage may be a bit high. Maybe you want to start shopping around to see if you can get something that's more reasonable within your your income, because I know some people may have lost income because with COVID and so on, but they never really took the opportunity to go back to your banker and say, hey, this is too much for me based on where my income is. Can we negotiate? Can you bring it down? Or can you go to another lender to reduce some of that payment?
Right, because I mean, you already have the mortgage.
Yes.
You almost don't have a choice because you're living there already.
That's it, yes. But we need to talk. That's why I say we need to educate ourselves. We need to get information so that we can make better decisions. And just saying, as you say, throw your hands in the air. Yeah, we can do that, but what next? You know, your situation has not changed. So you need to take a deep introspect of what's going on in your life.
Would you say, as we're talking about making a list of those things, and you mentioned that there might be something that is just costing you?
Yes.
Yesterday, two ladies were talking. Well, I mean, I wasn't eavesdropping because we were all there. It's just that I was not a part of the conversation.
I got you.
And one was mentioning to the other that, just for a little while, I wish I had my car right now. because, and she went on to explain that she sold her car because her husband has a car,
Right.
she had a car, and the truth is, there
You
is
don't
no
need
point
having a
at the
second
time
one.
to have a second one, and the money that was being spent to maintain the two of
second
them.
one, right.
But she was just saying that because she has some household repairs now and she has to be shopping
Moving around,
around,
yes.
that she just wished, that for that moment that she
would
had
have,
it.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, what would be your take, especially from a professional perspective, on a vehicle, especially when a vehicle is, somebody would say, well, how you could tell me I don't need a vehicle, I need my vehicle.
Yes.
But how would you define a vehicle? Will a vehicle really be an asset or a liability? Or how would you
Well,
class
it depends. It
Yes.
depends on the business.
Very well.
Yes. So sometimes some people use their vehicle in aid of generating more income.
So then it's an
Obviously,
asset.
that's yeah.
Exactly.
But if your vehicle is just becoming a liability to you, you're paying your debt, you can't get nothing out of it. You have to drop this one here and drop that one here, and it's gas and it's insurance and it's the tires, and you're getting nothing. Obviously, it's a liability to you. So businesses, obviously, like the guys who do service and so on, that's an
Definitely.
asset to them because obviously the business is using it in aid of bringing back some kind of return. Yeah. And I like the scenario you draw with the lady and the husband. We've seen a lot of that in Grenada.
Yeah, that's why I
everybody
raised
wants
it.
to have their own ride, and
Yeah.
it's fine. But can we really afford our own ride? Really, is that the point in your life where you need the two vehicles now? We're going on to the same job, maybe 2 minutes away. When we could just say, okay, I'll drop you out, I'll have the car today. Whatever it is that we need to share. But as I said, we need to have our own introspect on what's going on in our lives. Yeah? Because sometimes it really doesn't make sense when you look at it. You might be able to save towards something else, maybe a second home, or put that downstairs in your house, whatever it is, instead of doing something.
But the
like that.
thing is, for many people, I believe we're saying, and maybe we could just go right into, because we can tie up what we were talking about last
Right.
time, right
Back
into
into
what
this,
we're going
yes.
right now. Many people would be saying, well, Hillary, I hear what you're saying, and I make my list. And because yes, I made the list, but although I made the list, well, nothing is happening. To me, it would be, what would be the step? And of course, you've answered part of that already in that introspect.
through.
You really need to be very honest with yourself.
Yes, that's the key.
and say, yeah, here what? This is where most of the money or a lot of money is going, and this money that is going is not bringing back
But
any money
anything,
in
yes.
return. And so that is a story
Right.
right there.
Yeah.
But then what of the individuals who will say, I can't save, because you mentioned, and which we all know, saving is good.
Saving
But you would hear so many persons who we would
Yeah,
define
no,
in
yes.
Grenada and say, well, they have a good work. So maybe maybe teachers or persons who are in the construction industry.
yes.
Don't have some people who are in farming or fishery, fishing.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people who are in in jobs or in positions and
yeah.
professions that really can bring
It's
a
good
lot of
income,
money. Yeah,
yes,
it could
the
be,
income is
and
good.
the income is good.
The income is good.
But those same individuals, we know it's not all. We just generalize
Yes,
in here.
yes.
But a lot of persons out in these, and they're not lying. It's just that they really don't have it. In
Yes,
truth, when
yes.
you inspect, they don't have anything to show.
for the income that they would have been generating.
Right, and it's not like if you look over the history that you can say, all right, you know what, this person really hit a bad patch then.
Did,
Maybe
right.
they had, I don't know, a
Illness or
foreclosure, or they had an
something. Yes,
illness,
yeah,
or something happened. Of course, if you
That's
saw
it,
that, then you
lashed.
could say that lashed the savings. But it's not that. It's just that the person maybe just didn't save. So
Yeah.
what about those persons who will say, I don't have enough money to save?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't save. How do you address that? What kind of advice do you give to persons
well, again,
like
it
that?
goes back to the people mindset.
Oh, boy,
Meaning that, yes, because
Yeah.
you see, in everything we always find an excuse. If it's important enough, you'll find a way.
True.
Yeah. If it's not,
True.
you will make an excuse. So if you think saving for and something is important, you don't care if you have to take $1 out a day. You will.
Yeah.
Because it would help. You understand? So if what I want to suggest maybe for people who say they can save, what a suggestion is get a little envelope. And you probably don't have to keep it. Get somebody maybe you trust.
Yeah.
Take a $20 before you take with anything else, maybe. Take it and put it in that envelope and
Right.
give it to whoever you trust. And believe you me, over time you might be surprised of the amount of money you would have put aside and save. But if you see that money in your hand, and I know a lot of people attitude is, once you get money, money is to spend.
Yeah.
But you can try that. Yeah? Put it aside, put it away from your reach or access. Yeah?
But then that is the other thing again, the access.
Yes.
Because if
easy.
somebody would say, I want to save, but their so-called saving, or they will say the money that I'm not touching that, is what we would say. Other people say to Grenada, I put that aside. I ain't touching it. But it aside in the account that you have your debit card for.
Yes.
And you may not be the kind of individual who is checking even your online. You don't have online banking. You're not looking to see whether or not, okay, how much I already have in there? Did I touch the portion that I say? What I remember advising my youngest daughter, she just started working last year.
Nice.
And I said to her, I say, here what? The good thing is that at least she is a great portion of her money, which is not a whole lot of money, but it is enough to say, because she has what we say in Grenada, she in a check. She in a check. We minding her, you know. But she is in university as well.
Wow.
And we've made it very clear, hello, we helping you, but you have to invest in your education. So at least the money, so one of the things I told her, I said, the money that you're paying for your university, at least you're partly paying for university. When you're done with university, that money that you were paying and not missing when the month come, you definitely can save that.
Yes.
That is one way. And I also said, how about if you open a separate account in a credit union? She actually has one very close to where she's working, like actually the same building.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And I said, even if it's the same 20 I use, and I said 50 at the most for now.
Right, you can start small.
Yeah, I said, see how much money by just that amount you can save if you just to save between the time now that you started university and by the time you finish. Because she was saying to me, oh well mommy, by the time I pay bus and by the time I pay my thing and whatever, I don't have any money. I said, and I called her by name and I said, don't join that bandwagon of people that say, because you're young. She's not even 19.
Wow.
And God blessed her with that whole job and university. So my thing is, let's see what can happen by the time you are 25.
Wonderful.
Because you don't
have a plan.
You have to have a plan. Maybe that's part of the problem. The lack of a plan.
But some people have plan. It's just again what's going on up here. What's going on up here? Because some people plan is when they leave school, the first thing they get is a car, and that's their plan. Yeah. And nobody would sit them down. Yes, but nobody sits them down and say, hey, while that might be an option, and probably yes, everybody have their car your age and so on. What is the next conversation after the car? What comes? As you say, car costs. You have the insurance, you have the gas. You have the new young people driving crazy, might get hit. Yeah. So then it's off the road. It has to get a body work. Yeah. You have to pay different things. You're toting people around. You know, it costs. And it buys you more friends, which costs you even sometimes even more. Because everybody wants a ride, everybody wants to spend because they think you have the funds now. So, as I say, it goes back to what's going on up here, the mindset. And as you say, obviously a plan and a discipline. You mentioned a credit union. I know some of them, not to advocate for credit union and so on, but I know some of them, they have education savings plan where you can't touch it until they reach that age.
Yes.
And they have fixed plans, savings plan, where, again, you cannot touch it for a period, whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years. They have restrictions like that.
Yes.
So if you come and cry blood, maybe you'll get a little something. But the key is that money is set aside for later.
Right.
Yeah? So that's options for people. Like I say, we have to find out what's wrong with us.
So would you define, because we're talking savings right now, but for the persons who will also say, well, I can't save, as in, well, I can't just leave the money there, put aside. And again, we don't know, I mean, in terms of interest that you get on it. Some places don't give
It's not
and so somebody might say, well, I'm not getting a lot of interest on that, so I'm not bothered. What other options, even besides those that you mentioned there within the financial institution? What other options in terms maybe investment that we in Grenada? Because that is not that is not a language in Grenada.
Yes.
Well,
Because
I mean, not a language. I mean, business people know it, but generally, a lot of people don't talk investment.
Yeah. Well, because of our share size and so on, there's not a whole lot of option in terms of investments. In Grenada, like you said, one would be putting it aside. Maybe in a credit union, they used to have something called CDs, like a cash deposit. Like a fixed deposit. Some other places had that before, where you would get a bigger interest on the lump sum that you put in. So if you had a lump sum that just accumulated a small amount in one of the banks or the credit union, you put it on a CD, which you would get a bigger amount. But the bank is so liquid now, they're not even doing things like that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So what would be investment for us?
That is one way they had investment before. Another option for investment for people with cash. Because in order to invest, you must have money.
Of course.
Yeah. So if you have cash, you could probably look at investing in a small business to help them grow and taking a percentage of that business. Yeah, eventually. So if you see somebody is doing, maybe starting something, and you'll say, hey, and the person, instead of going to the bank and maybe you had to go through, bring your dead grandmother and your uncle and everybody else you can find, you can work out some kind of memo, some kind of contract with them, and you say, hey, I will lend you the money and I want it back, whether it is in a year time, 2 years time. You give it the business time. It depends on where the business is and how they sell their proposal to you. But you have something written where you can get back that money over a period of time.
But what you explain, you describing that and saying it's an investment, and I mean, of course, I understand that.
Yes, it is.
But many persons, again, I think everything will come back to the mindset.
Yes.
Because many persons now will turn around and say, Miss, I don't trust nobody with me money.
Yes. But the share word investment means there's risk. The share word, if you don't want to invest, put it below your bed. Yes, and even that is a risk, because once you have investment, there is a risk that you wouldn't get it back, and maybe not all of it. Yeah, but that's what investment is. So people that have money, when you hear some of these guys with these companies that making a set of money, of course, sometimes they're losing a lot of money as well, because sometimes the stock is up, sometimes the stock is down. Unfortunately, in Grenada here, we don't have a stock market where we can invest in.
Right.
Yeah, so as I said, do your research. Ask questions. If you're going to put money into a business, find out who's the owner, how they handle money, how they handle their own life. So you need to do your own research. It's not just feeling sorry for this little dude who's doing that, and then eventually you find out the business is a good business, but he takes all the money and he has 5 girlfriends, he's smoking the weed, he has 3 cars, you know, that kind of thing, and you know you won't get your money back. So you need to do your research if you're going to do that. While it doesn't say that you may get the money back, but you also have to make sure that you asking the right questions. If you're not sure, does the person have books? Meaning, are their books in order? When you sit with them, say, hey, what's your sales like for the last year, 2 years, 3 years? It depends on where the business.
They can't answer that question. Well,
but that's the answer. Produce the documents to say, this is what we're doing. This the forecast to say this is what we intend to do if you put your money in. How does it sound to you?
Yes.
And if you're not sure, you ask advice. The BSc there. Call the BSc.
I agree.
Yes. Don't do anything if you don't know. If you're not sure, you're not going into it, you leave it alone. Yes?
Yeah.
But ask questions, It is not difficult to find professionals. You have tons of professionals all over the island who can help you. Yeah, so that's another way you can invest, because to be honest, sometimes if you do a short-term investment with a significant amount of interest, so let's say if you decide to put money into a business for 6 months and you say, hey, I want 10% of my investment. That's better than waiting for 1% of the bank for the year. Yeah?
And then you still put it back in the bank if you wish.
All of that. So you make a ton of money on your $10,000 in a short space of time. You could do it over time. This person, no, you become like a banker yourself. People come into you and say, hey, I have this idea. Do you want to invest?
Yes.
And just so within a year, you make more money than you put in initially. But again, you have to
And I think the educating about it is going to be critical if we going to take that route.
Yes.
All right, let's take a little break. I have a feeling we've been chatting for quite a while. I don't know the exact time right now, but I know we've been chatting a while. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
All right.
Strength like no other, strength like no other, reaches to me. You are my hope, hope like no other. Hope like no other, reaches to me. In the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name, you lift me up. Me up. Let's sing. Unveiling love, stronger than mountains.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us. For those of you who may just have come in, well, you did miss a lot, but at least you'll be able to get a little bit. I'm chatting this morning with Hillary from Business Support Center. We're talking money. From the time you hear business, well, you know, money. But in this case, we don't want your money. We're trying to tell you how to manage your money, assist you. And maybe you're doing a fantastic job of organizing and keeping your money intact. But sometimes the little points that you may be doing something, but sometimes somebody's doing something, but they can't really define.
Yes.
And you may just be hearing some of the points that we are sharing this morning, and you'll be able to help somebody else, because you might say, oh, that's not for me, man, I good. Well, at least pass on the information. If you are good with information like that, then see yourself as someone that will be able to perpetuate the information that you have. That will be great, because we see what is happening. We see a lot of young people, and when I say young, I'm not talking necessarily about 14 and 15. I'm talking about young adults, persons in their 20s and 30s. You see people not having a plan at all. So the babies are being born. Oh, Jesus, it looked like if babies... My son said to me the other day, he said, Mommy, don't expect any set of grandchildren from me. If I get married and I have one, you're getting a lot. I said, well, Sean, only one. He said, Mommy, he said, you see this thing where people have children, like if it's a side bag, I don't have time for that, because you have to pay for it. And I sat and I listened to him. He's only 24. And I listened to that reasoning, and I said, it is so true. So he has already planned that because of the cost. And sadly, it is the truth. Babies might be really cute, but they cost money, and they don't stay cute. You have to spend on them, and you have to ensure that you plan. Let's be real, in our context in Grenada and in the Caribbean, maybe all over the world, but we're talking about what we know. A lot of people, let's be real, I think that if we have to do a survey, maybe only about 10 or 15% of children are planned.
Yes, that's true.
And maybe we're being nice with that. We don't have the real statistics here, but most children are not planned, especially nowadays. Even if persons are married, they do not plan for their children. And I do believe that it is one of the reasons that people are not able to enjoy the fullness of their life.
True.
You know, because you're working hard and you genuinely cannot see
what's happening.
What is happening. Yeah, it's sad, but these are the realities that people have to talk about and stop pretending that it does not exist.
For sure.
You have 5 children.
Yes.
You are working for. What is minimum salary in Grenada, by the way?
I'm not even sure. It
Well, I know for sure it can't be 1,000. It had to be less than that, maybe 800.
Yeah. Some
Could
businesses,
be, maybe.
the range,
Yeah.
So let's say an average of 1,000.
Yeah, so let's say.
Yes.
800. I more believe it's 8. Yeah, so let's work with 8.
Right.
So, because if we divide it, it maybe come down to about 45 a day, 50.
Yes.
So let's say, it can be for 50. 50 is 1,000, so it has to be 45. So let's say now you have $800. That's the only sure money that you have. And you're a single parent with 5 children. And maybe, Hillary, that scenario right here that I'm giving is very practical, because somebody who might be listening to this program would be saying, Miss, I'm hearing what you're saying, but in truth, I cannot save because look, I'm a single parent. I only have $1,000 and it's 3 children I have, and all of them have to go to school, and you have the long list that they start to explain.
Yes.
But I believe one of the things that people don't bear in mind is you cannot afford to not save.
Yeah.
It's not that you can't afford to save, it's that you can't afford not to
save.
You know, because even if it's the $1,000 and you start off, because I mean, if things bad and you reach where you have to spend 97%
of that,
well, at least take the 3%
and do something
and
with
start
one.
with something.
Yes.
Start by, even if it's saving, do something. Do something. But before I don't want to go down there. We were in investment before the break.
Yeah.
And what I want to ask you is, would you consider fully an advocate, real estate, renting the downstairs, whatever?
Yeah.
Would you consider that as investment as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, because we are so limited in terms of what we have in Grenada, a lot of people I know have been using their home.
Yes.
Now turning their home into an asset.
Of course.
Yeah, instead of the liability was costing them for years, you just pay in the bank. Because we in Grenada build
for 30 years and 25.
Yeah, we build so large and so because we want to have the mansion. And I'm not saying people don't, but we see what's happening. The cost of building in Grenada has gone up. Yes,
and
has gone up way above sometimes even what we're earning now. Because if you look at your home now, what it would have cost you then, and if you had to build a home similar to it, you'll be probably renting.
Yeah.
So if you have the space, I would suggest you do something with the space downstairs. A lot of people have been getting into, I'm sure people heard the name, the Airbnb.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so when relatives, when friends come from abroad, they don't want to pay the fees at the hotel.
Yes, they could come by you.
Make the downstairs nice.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
and
furnish it.
I'm glad you said nice.
Yes.
Oh, God, don't make hole in the wall. I'm sorry, I have to put in, that one is a
hole in the wall.
If you're going to do, in the first case, don't think about it as just somebody coming and rent.
Yes.
Take out that kind of mindset. We are thinking about quality.
Yes.
We are thinking about having a spirit of excellence in whatever you do.
Yes.
You are going to do, even if it's a little studio apartment, oh gosh, don't look for the cheapest furniture you could find and something that they're throwing away in quotes down in the warehouse. No.
Because you won't get value. At the end of the day, you want to be able to get the value.
And the piece of curtain, it looked like somebody who finished. Ensure that the thing, take your time, have a plan.
Yes.
But definitely, the Airbnb is definitely.
We have done it, and we have seen the benefit of it. You know, and it's not limited to season. You know, the hotels get people by season.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a good thing, like Ms. Ruffin said, if you make it nice, somebody come in and enjoy the space, they would share it with a friend.
Oh, yes.
Who wants to come back, and you make it reasonable
no
as well.
Roach,
yes.
Unwrapped
Exactly.
and for real. Maintain the place.
Yeah.
Maintain it and give the kind of price that is reasonable. I think that is a part of the thing too, because somebody might be very willing to build or to invest in this little area downstairs or wherever, but they are not willing to maintain.
Yes, well, you have to maintain that.
You have to maintain.
Because you're losing value. Remember, that house becoming an asset, and an asset is supposed to add value. So if it is that you're not taking care of that asset, it's going to lose value, and eventually you know, they would have to put more into it.
Right. What
Yes.
about the piece of land at the back of the house?
Right.
You know, the piece of land at the back of the house that that you forget how to throw two corn in.
Well, again, that's another investment. That could cut back on your food bill.
I believe so.
Yeah, why not go get a fork, get the kids, let them help you dig up the land, get them into planting.
Because you're
planting
not
some stuff.
because most people would say the land is for the children that not
Don't want to bother with
oh
it.
God,
Yes,
that's not
yes.
bothering. With all due respect to those of us who are older out there and you have all this land waiting for the children to come back and live in. Of course, it's your land, don't get us wrong. We are not at all suggesting that you're doing
Give it
something
away.
wrong. But, I mean, that's, you know, it's your children. You've worked hard to facilitate, how do you call it, to make sure that you leave an inheritance for your
life,
children.
yes, yeah.
However, while you are waiting for the children to
come back.
occupy, you can do something with it instead of looking like if, you know, things have gone down and you see in trouble.
Yeah,
You know, and again, when the monies come in, what would you say about that, Hillary? Usually people would say, well, I don't have the money, but now money come again. They just spend it out again.
Yeah,
but
that's
you
it.
were doing without it
Before.
before.
Yes, yes.
So this extra 500 that's coming in now, you didn't have it
Yeah.
just last year. You didn't have it.
yeah.
What do you do with that extra $500 that you now have? Are you going to just incur another bill?
Expense. Well,
another
which is what
expense?
people do, again, because of either their habits, because as I say, it doesn't matter if you earn more, but if your habit, if your behavior is the same, you would have the same end result. Yeah. So if you're getting some extra money, find somewhere to put it. As you say, put it aside, put it as a savings. We're getting older. You're going to probably need it for medication. Maybe you could do a little travel, do something that maybe you never thought you would be able to do. Yeah. And again, as she mentioned, planting behind your house. That would help you. Instead of sometimes going and buy the stuff in the market, yeah, you could eat a little healthier. Eat your tomato, eat your,
And
your
you know what you're
cucumbers,
putting in the
all
ground.
exactly. Yeah.
Without,
instead
because
of
you're
to
not
go
so sure how much artificial
that are
whatever
placed
has
into what
been.
you purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good. It's important to use what we have.
And it's necessary, and I believe we are not singing a very different song to what the Ministry of Health will be saying, or many
Agriculture,
other
yes.
persons
Yes.
will come and say the Food and Nutrition Council. I'm sure
Yes.
they're saying more or less the same thing. But when you equate it to money
Right.
and being able to save maybe even more,
Yes.
I usually say to people, I don't know when last I buy tin corn.
Yeah, because you don't need to.
Seriously, I don't buy tin corn, not because I'm having a problem with tin corn per se, but what happened is that we've started to plant. We have a little plot of land that we are renting from someone. At the time we didn't have our own property, and even that too is like, oh well, I don't have my own here, but you have a lot of other people who you might spend at $200 for the whole year.
Yes.
It's not like if you're paying $200 a month, $200 for the year,
and you
for
can
a
do it
quarter
what
of a
you
acre
want.
land.
Yes.
You know, let's be real. How much stuff would you? $200 not even buying you stuff for one month.
Not even a week.
Yeah, you know, in terms of the greens.
cost, yes.
But you can put some seeds in the ground, and you for a whole year you have your own thing. And what happened is that we thought we were going to get corn maybe to roast and sell or, but it didn't come
like
as
that.
much. So what I said to my husband, I said, well, hold on. I said, here, what man? I said, man, you have frozen corn. So we sat down, everybody at the corn, and we took off all the corn. We shelled the corn,
yes,
and it wasn't
yes,
hard. I'm
yeah,
talking about we
baby.
just, it wasn't hard corn like for Asham. And we scald it, and put just a little salt and sugar, and we froze
That's a good idea.
packet corn. Don't get tired, and I love corn. And then those that were getting a little too hard, Joking Mickey and I went up by the miller.
And you grind
And I did not have to buy cornmeal.
Look at that.
And I'm saying, and the truth is, it's not like if we are in the garden every day. I don't have the time to go to the garden, not even every week that we go to the garden. But we were able to do that. And
save
the
as a
truth is,
result of it.
when I deliberately started to count.
Right.
Because the particular tin of corn that because I like corn,
Right.
the particular tin that we used to buy was 6 something for it. And of course you can only use it once.
Right.
But the one packet, not me, I mean, maybe I'm ridiculous in research, but I do that.
No, but you have to.
But
You
I
have to.
measured it, and the amount that was in the tin is the kind of the same amount
the
that we
package.
pour out in the plastic, in the
Look at
bags
that.
that we, And I had, no, for real, the corn, that from that one harvest, and as I said, it was a little harvest. We had corn for almost a year.
You look at that.
No
Yes,
exaggeration.
we
We had corn, and the one little pepper tree was a few, and that pepper tree you decide it will grow,
flourish in for
and
the
man,
period.
it grow. And I really do believe that that we should be looking more into
these options.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I have heard. I've heard someone saying, I can't remember what I was reading, but in research as well, they were mentioning that you can choose something that you do a lot of and just decide just that one thing. Even if you have
Activity.
5 things that you like to do, they're not saying cut off all.
Right.
So maybe it is that you love to buy, I don't know, whatever it is that
Coffee.
you buy, coffee.
Yes. Yeah.
Or whatever, or maybe
sodas.
soda.
Soda is getting
Soda.
expensive now. So
Yes.
think about the
or the
Coke.
punch or a
The
punch.
yes.
Every day you feel to have a punch or whatever it
Yes.
is that you feel you just need, you must have it every day. Hear what? Even if it's 2 you used to buy, we challenging you.
Yes.
Buy one.
One.
You just
Buy
try with one and see how much you save for 1 month.
Yeah. Maybe,
And
maybe
then
the money you're going
multiply
to use
it,
it, put it in that same envelope. Put it in the envelope.
And
Put it in
especially,
the
and
bag.
that's for the persons who we are challenging those who say, I
cannot
have
save.
enough to save. We're not even saying about the putting aside that percent and whatnot. We're
Yes,
not saying that
yeah.
we're going back on our word. We want you to do that. But we're saying to those of you who are still using the excuse and saying we don't have it, we're saying to you, just choose something that you love to do. You have been doing on a regular basis. Watch me, even the tamarind ball you're buying, I'm speaking to myself. Yes, it's $1 pack, but watch me. You wouldn't buy 1 pack.
I know.
Normally you buy 2 packs.
Two or three pack.
Right.
Yes.
So, but that's $3. That's $15 for the week. That's
looks
look at
simple,
that
eh?
already.
Yes.
15. That's tamarind ball
Ball
alone.
alone.
So 15 for the week. So
You have
that's
to multiply that
60.
by 10 days.
But look at it. But that's $60 for the month already.
Yeah. Yeah.
So $60. Can you imagine you spend $60 in
And
tamarind
tamarind
ball?
ball. For the month.
But that's only tamarind ball.
Yes.
That's only one little sweet
Yes,
mouth.
yeah.
But maybe your mouth real sweet.
And they want
So
more
you
than
want
that.
tamarind ball,
You
and you want a little groundnut sugar cake,
And
and you
guava
want
cheese.
guava cheese, and you've been buying that, and you leave it in your bag for when you feel like it. And when the man passes in your workplace, and you figure, oh God, I must buy from him. No,
The
you
tight
don't
and
must
this
buy
and
from
that,
him.
yes.
You could make your little thing home too.
Yeah.
You know, and I really do believe that if we look at even investment and so forth from
Yes.
that place, investing even
In that, yeah, it's true. I totally agree with that. And the guys who decide on Fridays they're going to spend $20 and $30 a bed
to feed. Oh yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that every Friday you have to go out and everybody have to buy their wrongs. And then you're having challenge with your kids and,
But
and that kind
how
of
much
thing.
is a bear again?
$5 for carob.
Okay, so they don't
Caribbean.
have happy hour and them thing no more.
I'm not sure if they do,
I have
but
no-
even so, guys, they spend an average of $20 to $30 on Fridays because that's what they do. Because
Right.
when they buy your wrongs, a wrong
Wrongs
costs you
mean what?
money.
What do you mean?
Wrongs meaning that if you have 5 guys on the table, you have to buy for the 5. So everybody would take a time to purchase. So if you have
Right,
5, you're
right.
you're drinking 5 beers because everybody have to have.
But then
their
you might
portion.
have one beer.
Yeah.
You
No, that's
might-
what I said. Everybody drinks 5 because when you buy, I have to buy. The next person have to buy. So everybody
Oh.
gets an opportunity to buy for their
Aha.
friends. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah. So that's what I
Oh,
said. An
my, but-
average on
But
$30.
the beer but the person who selling beer making
Of course, they're making that
money.
money. Of course, they love those guys. They love
They
those,
love them.
They love those guys. They have their fridge packed and ready for them when because they know they're coming. They know they're coming. So, guys, I mean, yes, it's good to entertain yourself, and I know a lot of people say, "Oh, don't worry, them cheap people." Yeah, but at the end of the day, what's happening to you? You lose your toe, then it comes up to your knee, then
Yeah,
your
yeah,
leg,
yeah.
because you're diabetic.
But how
I
mu-
remember the
how much
best, and so have quite a
It's
lot of sugar.
a lot of sugar. Yeah, you don't taste it, and that is
No.
the problem. Because
Yeah.
even alcohol on its own, when it
It is
breaks
sugar.
down in your body, it is sugar.
Yeah.
But how much for rum? How much
I don't
for
know.
a
I know
shot?
they have
How you
it's
call
a
it,
rum
a
and
eight?
it's a rum or something. Maybe
I wish
5
somebody
something.
who's looking could
I
help
don't
us
know.
here
I
because
don't- I
I mean
don't
we come
partake
into
in
an
that.
end. No, I mean not for us to buy, but again for
Yes,
you
yes,
to,
yes, the
to,
dollar
to,
value.
to look
You've-
at the value.
Yeah.
Because I ate some rum. What is I ate some rum, by the way, Lord? I hear that when I was growing up.
Something in a
Is that
glass, they
little
have a
bit?
thing they measure and they pour it
Oh
out in
my,
a
we
cup
should
for
have
them.
come with a little more research on that before I raised it. But without a doubt, it has to be an essence bottle. It's like an essence bottle.
Oh, that they use
is
to
a
measure
8,
it.
right? Yeah, like what we call an essence bottle. And that has, I wonder how much money for that.
The guys, I don't know.
Because some people, also about $5. So let's say it's about between $5 and $8 for 1/8.
Yeah.
But then they rum. So that's not. I mean, by the time you pour out that little thing, they stay a little because the nicer you get.
Yeah.
I think I heard my
And I
son
don't
say
think
the
people
more
buy
oil
one
they get.
yet. And I don't think they buy 1/8.
No, that's what I'm saying. I doubt you'll buy 1/8 because again, maybe you have to make the same wrongs business
Sometimes
again.
you have to do that. Sometimes you have the 8 I share and the next person share and that kind of thing.
But then a lot of money is being spent by the very person who is saying, I don't have money to spend.
Yeah. Or they can't buy healthy foods to eat, to put in their own body. Yeah. So they rather go buy the KFC and buy the fried food, and that's why I say end up with the same diseases. So the same money you didn't have in the beginning, you have to find it
You
now.
have to find it to spend
because
it
your
now.
medication is costing how much and how much money.
Or dialysis.
Yes.
Well, don't ask for, because a lot of people, and maybe we can wrap up on that note. I mean, we're not the health professionals here, but we have sufficient information to at least be able to encourage you. And I remember Mrs. Hopkins, the late Miss Hopkins, again, for those of you who know, she passed away. She was my goodness, she was an advocate for health, but also she was a staple on this program.
Wow,
and
nice.
we did not get a chance because we only started back last week. We did not get a chance, to mention. So for those of you who are viewing, I mean, I'm just, sidetracking a little bit. Mrs. Ann Hopkins, who used to be with me on, it used to be on the third Friday. We used to be talking about kidney health. And my goodness, we moved from kidney actually, and we went and we started to talk about all kinds of things. But she passed away, and my goodness, this woman was like a walking dictionary. We had some really, really good times. And you know what? I do believe that as I've raised it here, let's just, please, if we don't mind, just take a brief moment of silence for her, and then we'll just continue and wrap up. All right. As I said, she was really, really a good influence on the program.
Nice.
And one of the things that she said is, as you raised the health thing now, I just remembered that the alcohol was a big thing in contributing to patients who were falling ill with kidney issues. And I remember when her administrator came, she and I had a really interesting program because we sat there and we were not the best mathematicians on the program, I remember, but we added up how much the government, the state, because the state tried to help some persons, and we added it up. Hillary, you will be shocked. We came to $1.something million for 1 year.
That's per patient?
No, and it was for only, we had worked it out because they were only able to assist only 22 patients per year. And of course, she said the waiting list is ridiculously long. And by the way, it's not helping the patients for every for everything, for every treatment. It was only one treatment per patient per patient per month. So of course the patients had to be getting that dialysis
twice and 3 times
4 times. It's once a week. So out of the 4 times or sometimes even 8 times, the state was only able to assist with one treatment.
Oh yes,
and so
it's
really expensive, and we don't. Too many young people, too many people on the whole, do not see that you need to have preventative care, and it is one thing that Mrs. Hopkins was a real advocate of. Prevent it, because it takes too much to cure it.
I think our people, I mean, as you say, I'm not an expert, but what I've noticed in Grenada, that everybody thinks when you get older you should have one of these diseases. People just resign themselves that they think,
I must
I'm
get
going
sick
to
and
get
old. Yeah.
diabetes because
That's
my
crazy.
mother had it,
Yeah.
or my father had it, or I'm going to get hypertension. And it's not true. We know people at 90-something that they
And
still
they're
have their good
perfectly fine.
vision.
Yes.
They never had a case of that because they took the time to take care of themselves.
Correct.
You see, that's why I'm saying, even at the start of the program, it's our mindset.
It's our mindset.
What is your mindset? Are you going to just resign and say, yes, my mother had it, so I'm going to get it and I'm okay, and I'm going to drink the beers and eat bad, regardless to what, because I'm going to get it anyway. Instead of saying, hey, they have it, I'm going to work towards not having that disease. Or at least manage it better than they did.
Correct.
Because it's not easy. These diseases are...
And even now, things, whether we like it or not, everything is more expensive.
Yes.
It is just the reality of it.
Pocket.
It come back to the pocket. It come back to the same money that we are talking about. And I mean, with all due respect, and what I'm going to say here to end, it's not me bashing persons who, whether they want to put on their fancy clothes and look cute and whatnot, but I do want to say this, and I might get a little bit of hit for it, but I will see it. We have this thing now, and I don't think it's just among young people, people on the whole. I don't know if it's a black people thing, but there is this thing where love the skin you're in.
Yes.
I am a full advocate for loving yourself.
Of course.
But I don't understand why you need to be 240 pounds. And just because you need to love the skin you're in, you are going to resign yourself to remain in 240 pounds, to be able to wear a short outfit and it's tight, and once I could look good and I put on me. But you're unhealthy. Yes. That's the point I really want to make. Yes. I'm not bashing whether you like your weight or whether you like, that's your, I'm not going there, at least not today. But I am saying, if you know that the skin you are in can cause you to become sick 5 years from now, maybe not even a whole 5, but you have truncal obesity, because that is what medical professionals call you put in. It's not cute when you're belly big and you're not pregnant. That's not cute. It is that you have put on too much weight around your trunk. It is that it's not just cute and sexy, excuse me, but that is what is said, because you have a lot of hips. It's not cute. It's that you have too much weight for your body type. And it's not healthy at some point, and you're breathing short and your heart has too much work to do. This is not us beating. Love the skin you're in, of course. You have to love yourself.
But if you love it, you take care of it.
If you if you love yourself, loving yourself does not mean just putting on the clothing that's there just because it's cute and everybody else is wearing it. Loving the skin you're in mean taking care of yourself from the inside out, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, because you can put on all the makeup and all the sexy clothes, and inside of you, those areas are not attended to. Your health is not attended to. Your mindset is not off. It's off. You are you really loving the skin that you're in? You know, I mean, as I said, I'm hoping that I said that in a very respectful manner. I don't think that I'm hoping that I didn't offend anybody unduly, but I do believe that we need to speak those things to our loved ones, right? I'm not saying just tell the person, oh, don't wear that. No. I'm saying, hopefully that persons will understand, yes, we are an advocate for loving yourself, but take care of the self that you're loving.
In every which way.
In every which way. In every which way. Okay, well, without a doubt, we are going to come back to talk about the taxes. Closing words.
Yes, well, again, viewers, thank you for listening. And like Ms. Ruffin said, I hope that the information you get here, you don't just keep it, but you share it. Because, I mean, when you get info, it's ready to impact, to make you better, or make the people around you better. So what I want to say is take action. Take action with the information to improve your life and eventually the life of the persons on our island. Amen. So thank you again.
All right. Thank you very much for staying with us this morning. I will see you all next week, Friday, God's will. And happy listening for the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest that of the different programs that will be available to you. Have yourself a really safe week, and God's blessing upon you until we chat again next week, Friday. God bless and goodbye.
Thank you.